At the heart of this tragic tale were three individuals whose lives became inextricably intertwined in a web of forbidden desire and deadly consequences. Sydney Peters, 68, a retired librarian, had always found solace in romance novels, longing for excitement beyond the pages. Her husband, Reginald Peters, 70, a former high school principal, was respected in the community for his strict moral code and unwavering principles. But the quiet order of their lives would be shattered by Tom Crawford, Reginald's 20-year-old son from a previous marriage, a brooding artist with soulful eyes and a troubled past, whose arrival in the Peters household would ignite a passion that defied societal norms and family bonds. Sydney was born in 1956 in upstate New York, the only child of a seamstress mother and an absent father. Lonely from an early age, she sought adventure and romance in books. Her first marriage, to a philosophy student named Xavier, ended after 2 years when he abandoned her for a spiritual journey in India. Her second marriage lasted longer but lacked passion, leaving Sydney increasingly dissatisfied. It was not until she met Reginald in her late 50s that she felt a sense of stability, intellectually, socially, and financially. Yet, as the years passed, a familiar restlessness crept in. Reginald, for all his virtues, offered little spontaneity, and Sydney found herself retreating into books and secret fantasies. Tom's life had been turbulent from the start. Born in 2004 to Reginald and Lydia Crawford, an art teacher 20 years his junior, his early years were marked by conflict and upheaval. His parents' marriage ended when he was 5, and he was primarily raised by his free-spirited mother, who exposed him to a bohemian lifestyle far removed from his father's conservative values. Tom developed artistic talent and a rebellious spirit, often clashing with authority. When his mother suffered a serious accident, Tom moved in with Reginald and Sydney in Ashford, and the tension between father and son was immediate. It was Sydney who first reached out to Tom, sensing a kindred spirit. She began to bond with him, offering comfort, attention, and understanding. Unbeknownst to her, this connection would awaken desires that both would struggle to resist. The first spark came on a sultry August evening when Sydney saw Tom shirtless, sketching in the kitchen. Their eyes met, and a moment of tension and longing passed between them. From that night, Sydney became hyper-aware of Tom's presence, finding excuses to be near him. Tom, initially unaware, soon noticed her lingering glances and subtle touches. What began as a tentative attraction deepened into an illicit affair. They shared stolen moments in the garage, garden shed, and even Reginald's study, the thrill of secrecy amplifying their passion. Sydney lavished gifts on Tom, art supplies, designer clothes, justifying them as steps to help him settle in. Tom, torn between guilt and desire, found in Sydney the acceptance and attention he had long craved, his art reflecting the intensity of their hidden relationship. Meanwhile, Reginald's keen observation began to pick up subtle signs of disruption. He noticed hushed conversations, long glances, and unusual behavior from both Sydney and Tom. Suspicion grew as Sydney's attention to her appearance increased, and Tom became defensive and secretive. The tension reached a breaking point one fateful day in February. Reginald returned home unexpectedly while Sydney and Tom were in the midst of an encounter. Time seemed to freeze. Shock and rage consumed Reginald. In the ensuing chaos, he struck Sydney, and she crumpled to the floor, lifeless. Tom, paralyzed with fear and guilt, called 911. The quiet town of Ashford was thrown into turmoil. Police and neighbors arrived at the scene of devastation. Reginald, arrested for murder, offered no resistance. Tom, traumatized, struggled to make sense of the night's events. The investigation uncovered the complexity of their relationships. Sydney's diary detailed her obsession with Tom, and his artwork hinted at their illicit affair. The town, once proud of the Peters family, now whispered rumors and scandal. During the trial, Tom reluctantly testified against his father, recounting the months of secret passion and tension that had led to Sydney's death. The defense argued temporary insanity due to emotional distress, citing Reginald's previous good standing. After 3 days of deliberation, the jury convicted Reginald of second-degree murder, sentencing him to 25 years to life. Tom, haunted and orphaned, left Ashford behind, carrying the weight of tragedy. The Peters house, once a symbol of respectability, stood empty, a stark reminder that even the most idyllic lives can conceal darkness. The story of Sydney, Tom, and Reginald became a cautionary tale, a tale of obsession, betrayal, and the deadly consequences of forbidden desire.